Welcome home to USA Global TV and Radio, a place where dreams take flight, with authentic storytelling, diverse perspectives and meaningful conversations, where global stories unite and bridges are built beyond all borders. Discover world-class education, entertainment, hope and inspiration. Together, we're building bridges worldwide. Subscribe to our channel, USA Global TV. Download our app, USA Global TV. Be our guest or join our team. Visit usaglobaltv.com. Thanks to our founder and executive producer, Dr. Jacqueline Kerbeck. Music score by Yeffy Tang from Cloud Road Music. Voiceover artist Mike Porter. Creative direction by Paul Garcia. USA Global TV and Radio, your home for global connection. All rights reserved. This video and its contents are the exclusive property of USA Global TV and Radio. Unauthorized use, duplication or redistribution in any form is strictly prohibited.
Hello and welcome to USA Global TV and Radio, where we provide world-class education, entertainment, hope and inspiration. Our show today is A Woman's Prerogative in partnership with E360 TV. I'm Caroline Heward. I'm absolutely thrilled and honoured to be representing Dr. Jacqueline as your host for USA Global TV and Radio's flagship show, A Woman's Prerogative. I'm a TV presenter at the channel and also the resident therapist. A warm welcome to all of our loyal viewers and our friends on E360 TV, and hello to all our usual friends and our usual social media channels, YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn and X. Today's topic, it's going to be inviting some interesting introspection and reflection. Today's topic is the art of authenticity, honest conversations in difficult times. I'm always joined here with a wonderful panelist, our Reverend LYDIA FOUGERES. She's known as Great Divine Mother. She's a mother, a reverend, and also she has a master's in metaphysics. Please give a warm welcome to our panelist who's resident here on A Woman's Prerogative Part 1, Reverend LYDIA FOUGERES.
Hello, thank you for having me. It's nice to have you. So thank you for everyone to watch the show. So I am very happy to be on the show, and the subject is absolutely amazing today, Caroline.
Oh,
I am very thrilled, very thrilled.
So I'm glad that you are. It came from some interesting conversations and situations that I've been experiencing. So it came up because I thought that it was very topical for myself and it will be very topical for others. So I'm glad that you're looking forward to it. Reverend LYDIA, please, for our viewers that are here for the first time, please tell them a little bit about what you do and who your favorite and who your absolutely brilliant client would be, who you help.
Well, as a reverend with a master's degree in metaphysics, I offer weddings. I do weddings, and my approach in healing is focused on connectedness of mind, body, and spirit. While I officiate weddings in Canada, my primary aim is in facilitating holistic well-being, because I really am the holistic way. I help in healing matters of the heart. I'm an expert in healing the heart. I have created the perfect mate incense because I work with metaphysics also, and a mist also. I'm an intuitive healer. I'm a Reiki master. I balance chakras, and I promote healing across physical, emotional, and spiritual dimensions. So I work with imbalances. I work from cause to effect also. I've been doing that for 30 years. I have a degree in holistic nursing also, and I am a registered nurse. So that is pretty much what I do, because I help people navigate navigate challenges
I think we've lost Reverend Lydia there.
in their life.
Thank you, Reverend Lydia. Thank you very much. And for myself, I'm known as the Harley Street Stress Expert, and I help people bust their stress. So how do I do that? I use root cause therapy and chakra psychology. I work on the blueprint of the person's past. So you will recognize regular repeating patterns of how you experience stress, whether it be physical, so you get regular headaches or stomach problems, whether it be mental, so you'll have anxiety, depression, and they come in regular repeating cycles. Or it might be behavioral, where you are always complaining about a relationship or a situation. Or it could be that it's a challenge for you personally in terms of the way that you approach things, that a repeating cycle of situations arises. So how do I do that? I identify the root cause that's causing your repeating patterns by identifying when it first began and allowing the emotion to release in awareness. And that moves you into a place of inner peace. And that also stops the repeating pattern, because once you're in awareness, it stops coming up in the same way because you are in awareness. I also speak, so I speak on stage, and I've been doing some live talks at the back end of last year, and I have more coming up for this current year. And I also do lunch and learn talks where I go into companies and teach them about certain topics in terms of understanding communication, conflict resolution, and looking at it from an educational perspective with a Q&A. That's either online or face-to-face. And I look forward to exploring this topic with our Reverend Lydia. So let's move into our topic, the art of authenticity, honest conversations in difficult times. So in just hearing that topic, Reverend Lydia, what comes up for you in terms of what does it spring to mind? You said that you were really interested to explore this topic. You were excited about it. What was it that came up for you that created that excitement, that anticipation, and that feeling of you're looking forward to exploring this topic? What's the things that came up for you?
Well, what came up to me is that usually people, when they go and talk about a topic, they go in accusation mode. They accuse. So they do not go into in the mode I am hurt, I am this. So they go in the mode, you hurt me, you did this, you did that. They do not stay in their own emotions. They go in someone else's emotions or someone else's action. So the way they present the situation already is violent. So the person actually is not receptive to them. It is the approach that you use when you actually have a difficult situation to talk about with someone. There is always a way to approach a situation and to solve the conflict without accusing, being calm and centered. If we are both into a space where there is no accusation, well, we are in a win-win situation, no matter how difficult the situation is. If we stay in the I and we stop accusing, we will get away with any difficult situation because we respect the other person.
Thank you, Reverend Lydia. That's an extremely important space to come from. I feel, I cannot, this is a difficult situation for me. This is what's going on. And in terms of saying I feel, it then alleviates the other person, because if they have a conflict and they do turn around and say, I feel this, this, and this, and if you agree with them, you agree with what they are feeling, or you say, you're right, then if you do feel that, because if you don't feel it, then that's not being authentic. But if you feel that what they've shared with you is right, then tell them that they're right. You're right. But that's where you have to agree that you both have different perspectives. And I do feel it's about being open to hear the other person's perspective and the other person's uncomfortableness or what's creating the conflict. The other thing that I'd like to mention here is that I've been in management. Well, I started off being a manager from the age of 19. So I'm actually a trained and qualified manager, and trained and qualified twice. Once when I was 18, when I first left school, and then I qualified again in management and business studies much later I started when I was 27, so my late 20s. And it's very difficult to take the person, because we are in a situation where we are here, we're almost like cogs in a wheel, and we're all playing different parts in that machine. But we are not machines, we are human. And it's very difficult to take out the machinery, the cog, and just deal with one aspect of the situation. So for instance, if it's a financial situation and the person is going through difficulties in terms of their personal life, you can't split it, because the personal life the finances will be affecting the personal life. And it's not easy that they come hand in hand, and we are actually dealing with a person, not a machine, a machine that has a cog in there that needs to just look at one aspect. And in my many years of management, somebody could come in and they were having a breakdown in a marriage, and they would be all over the place. And it's about understanding and moving into a place of humanness to understand why the reaction, the responses, and the changes in their circumstance are what they are, so that you can come to some conversational agreement in a place of authenticity. So I believe from a place of authenticity in a conversation, that you cannot take away the personal circumstances from the legitimate business circumstances, because they are one and the same. We are people, we are not machines. And being people, we are going through the human condition of emotions. What are your thoughts about what I've just shared, Reverend Lydia?
Well, I think you are absolutely right about we are people and we think the same, but we react differently. We have a tendency to react to the way we were raised. So if we were raised in a calm environment, well, we have a tendency to be calm. But if we have been raised in a very dysfunctional way, well, there is most likely place for drama. So we actually have to face the fact that we have to work on ourselves. Everyone has to work on themselves. If they come from a dysfunctional family, dysfunctional environment, they have to work on themselves all the time. Because the thing is that we are not machines, as you say, we are humans, so we act in a human way. So to act in a human way, we have to change. We have to stop reacting. We have to listen also, because when we do not listen to the person that is hurt or whatever the situation is, if we react, the problem is that they are not helped at all. And the people actually, what they do is they listen to answer. So why not listen just to listen instead of listening to give an answer? Because sometimes you just don't want to give an answer because there's no answer to give. The person is there, you have to listen, that is all, because that is all they need. And when there is a confrontation, sometimes the person will just want to let some steam out. That is all. You don't have to feel attacked. they're not necessarily attacking you. So I'm not talking about you personally. so they're not attacking the person they're talking to. So they're just letting some steam out. That is all. So we just have to let them talk, let them say what they want, and try to make a deal out of this, because without reacting, we have to stay calm and stay focused and say, that person is hurt. I am just there to listen to that hurt person. That is all. And I will share an example. It happened yesterday, actually. Someone called me and they said they had someone, a member of their family, that was going through very difficult times and so on and so forth. Well, actually, it happened to me twice in the last 2 days. Someone was going through difficult times. So instead of just listening, doing some active listening, they started sharing their life story about things can be worse in other countries, or they had gone through worse therapy, worse thing, worse whatever. Well, that is not the solution. Absolutely not. When a person is sharing that they are hurt or they are going through something difficult, it is not it is not a it is not a contest. You're not talking about how hurt yourself you are. You're there to listen and not to say, oh yes, well, you know what, you're hurt, but do you know that you live in a very nice place and you live in a very nice country and you're luckier than someone else and you could be a lot more sick than I am, if so so on and so forth. There's no contest. So in difficult times, just listen, that is all, and see what there is to see, because sometimes it's just the way it is. You have nothing to say.
Thank you, Reverend Lydia. And I quite agree with you. It isn't a competition. And when people do go into a competition, that's happened for me, but this was worse. It then is a one-upmanship conversation. And then it doesn't give room for that space to be authentic, especially if there's changing circumstances. And that just leads me on to my next question, really, because we have personal struggles. It's life. We can't get to any age and not have personal struggles. So what are your thoughts in terms of having personal struggles and the ability and the impact that it has on our ability to be open and honest? My feelings are, especially in our current times, in our culture, the Western culture, is that certainly from the space of Britain, the UK, we have this phrase, the British stiff upper lip. So whatever's going on, we tend to just kind of keep calm and carry on. But as you and I both will be aware, that's not ideal. And yet that is a strategy for many people. And I would say that it comes very much from a strong person trying to keep calm and carry on. But it's actually very hurtful in terms of the body's health, mentally, physically, and emotionally. So what are your thoughts in terms of how personal struggles can impact the person's ability to be open and honest?
Well, people actually they do struggle with staying honest and open, because the thing is that they do not want to look bad a lot of time. They do not want to look bad. They do not want to hurt anyone. They want to spare the environment. So that is the way actually people that will think of others will act. That is the way they act. When it comes to me, what I do is that I observe the way I feel. Instead, I used to bottle everything inside, but I started observing the way I feel. Instead of living the way I feel, I started to observe. So let us say I felt rage instead of being enraged, I started observing the feeling of rage. So instead of living rage, I started observing rage. So that is the way I get out of the situation. I do not live it, I just look at it. And that is my way out, actually. So some people do not understand the way I am. Some situations sometimes look really dramatic, and I stay there and I just look at the situation. But actually, if we use that strategy, we don't destroy ourselves. We just stay calm, and the stress is not as much, actually. So we do feel, we're like everyone else, we have feelings. But when we observe our feelings instead of living our feelings, well, it's a good strategy, I do think.
Thank you, Reverend Lydia. That's really good feedback and some great strategies that you've shared there. So what are your thoughts about the key elements of an authentic conversation? And we'll look at personal. So if there's a relationship issue, a friendship relationship issue, what are your thoughts on keeping the conversation authentic? What are your thoughts in terms of the key elements?
Being honest. We have to be honest. Let us say, by example, that you have a friend that doesn't, I'm just taking an idea like that. Let us say you have a friend that does not dress too well and does not look good in public. Well, you don't stay silent. If you really love that friend, you will go into the difficult situation of saying to that friend, well, you know what? I observed this and that, and you can take whatever content you want from what I am sharing with you. You can be angry if you want, but I am talking from a space of love because I want you to look your best all the time. So this is a very difficult and touchy situation, but at the same time, you talk from a space of love. So sometimes you have to say difficult things, but it is, if you talk from a space of love, you can talk about difficult things. And if you can also agree to disagree, they can be really angry with you. And you can say, I agree very well that you disagree with me, and I respect that. And you just, you let sleeping dogs lie. That is all. You just do not go on with it.
Thank you, Reverend Lydia. That being honest about somebody being dressed in the best way, it made me think of a similar situation that I had, where a friend we were going to a ball, and we had our long frocks, and I was staying at hers to get changed. It was a very good friend. And it was an awards dinner, and black tie, the whole thing. And I remember that she came out, she had 4 different outfits, because we were staying with her, and she came out with 4 different outfits, and the first 3 just looked absolutely dreadful, and the last one looked the best. And as a friend, as a genuine friend, I said, the last one is your best. And she was a little offended, because she says, well, why didn't you like the others? And I said, because this one makes you look better. This is the one that, makes you stand out, makes you look better. And the others are obviously older dresses, and you've gained a little weight. So this one, covers some of those bits that are bulging. And we did it in the best taste in terms of, the honesty. And she said, that's why you're here, because I know that you will be honest with me. I know that you wouldn't let me go out and make a fool of myself. And that's the genuineness of a personal friendship. That's the genuine authenticity of making sure that your friend doesn't go out looking not good. I remember my mum would say when I was very young and I first started wearing makeup and I put too much rouge on, and she said, "You are not going out like that." That's my mum being very authentic with me. She said, "You can take that lot off." I think I was about 14. But, that was a genuine, authentic share from my mum at the age of 14. I just thought a bit of makeup, I look good, and didn't really know how silly I did look until my mum stopped me and gave me authentic feedback. And one more example that I'd like to share is when I was at school, there was one of our friends who had extremely terrible body odor. We call that for short BO, body odor. And it was really dreadful. And none of us knew how to say it. And we were only very young. We were in our first year as seniors. And we kind of had conversations about it. And how do we broach this subject to this friend? We were a circle of about 6 friends. What do we say to her? And we considered, and we were very young in our first year of senior school. So we were only about 13. So we were very uncomfortable about just saying, "Hey, you stink," and didn't think that was the right way to be. And then we had suggestions about bringing different antiperspirants and different deodorants. And one of the girls, who was very insightful, who lived not very far away from her, said, "I'll just take her to one side and tell her." And I just thought that was amazing, that sort of we were trying to find all different strategies in terms of completing the task of letting our friend know in that roundabout way. But the one of our friends in the circle that lived very in the next street to her, she said, "Well, I walk home with her and walk to school every day. I should just have a conversation and tell her." And I just thought that was amazing. Authentic conversations, despite the fact that they're difficult. We are now ready to go over to a short commercial break, and we will be back for A Woman's Prerogative Part 1, exploring more difficult conversations.
Ever dreamed of hosting your own TV show, sharing your story with a global audience? Now's your chance to shine. At USA Global TV and Radio, we make it easy for you to create, host and broadcast your very own TV show. Whether you're a storyteller, entrepreneur or industry expert, we help you bring your vision to life. With our exclusive interview, live streaming and podcasting training, you'll gain the skills and confidence to captivate your audience. Our global platform ensures your voice is heard worldwide. Join our community of creators who are already making an impact, one show at a time. Step into the spotlight. Host your own TV show on USA Global TV and Radio. Book your discovery call today at usaglobaltv.com. Copyright 2025 USA Global TV and Radio. All rights reserved. Terms and conditions apply. To learn more, visit usaglobaltv.com.
Hello and welcome back to A Woman's Prerogative Part 1. In partnership with E360 TV, we've been exploring the art of authenticity, honest conversations in difficult times. So let's bring back our panelist, Reverend LYDIA FOUGERES, and continue the conversation. Thank you for coming back, Reverend LYDIA. So we've been really going into the crux of some interesting areas. Can emotional pain or stress make someone less able and less willing to engage in open dialogue? What are your thoughts about that, Reverend LYDIA?
Absolutely, absolutely. Someone that has an emotional problem will, most of the time, they will draw back or they will be aggressive, one or the other. If they have a problem, an emotional problem, that is our work to actually join them halfway. Because if they are aggressive, there is a reason. If they withdraw, there is a reason also. A person usually does not go from one side to the other without a reason. Usually people are not either angry or sad. People enjoy life usually, but when a person withdraws, when a person is always angry, we have to understand there is something wrong, and it is our job actually to go and try to investigate in the best way and respectfully what is the problem with that person. And we have to help them solve the problem, because sometimes they do not even know they have a problem. They're just so stuck in that emotion that they do not see the problem. They do not even see their emotion. Sometimes you can actually talk to someone and the next day they commit suicide. So you missed it. You really missed it. So sometimes there is a way to listen to someone, there is a way to act and react to someone if they are withdrawing, or if they are too angry, or if they just are too platonic, they just don't care. So those are three ways people can act if they are emotionally unstable. So we have to be very careful with people that are emotionally hurt. We do have to be very careful, and it's our work to actually go and figure it out. We are the ones that have to figure it out, not them.
Thank you, Reverend Lydia. You've reminded me of a time when I was still in corporate and my father passed away, and I just carried on. And at the time, I was writing a bereavement booklet, and I was rewriting the hospice booklets for quite a major charity in the UK, and I thought that I was okay. And about 6 months after my father passed away, my boss, my director, he pulled me to one side and he just said, "I'm really worried about you. I think you need to go and talk to someone." And I've never been able to thank him, because it was only 6 months. I could have been like that for years. I could have been stuck in that depression. I had no idea. And then I became clinically diagnosed with a clinical depression, which was what led me onto a path of looking at how I could solve it, because I didn't even realize I was in it. So very much what you're saying, that people might not be aware of the situation that they're in. They might not be aware of the changes that they are exhibiting in terms of their behavior. And so it is up to the boss, to the manager, to people around them, to friends, because, you know, my family didn't say anything to me. My then husband didn't say anything to me. My best friends didn't say anything to me. And I was in that depression for 6 months. It was my boss that turned around and said something to me. And it was down to him that I decided I became aware and to look at what was wrong with me, because I didn't expect or think that there was anything wrong with me. I just went back to work and carried on. And this is what we do. We go back to work, or we brush ourselves down, and we carry on. And we carry on through a filtered lens, through something that we're not even aware of, because we become so busy with activities, we forget to be human, we forget to feel. So, Reverend Lydia, what are your thoughts about the role of vulnerability and emotional intelligence?
Emotional intelligence is really important. Actually, I think you will think maybe it is exaggerated, but I think emotional intelligence is the top intelligence, because when you have emotional intelligence, you can actually see and be aware of what is going on. If someone is very good in whatever, physics, math, whatever, and they do not have any emotional intelligence. They just have knowledge. That is all. And they can be without any emotional intelligence. So, emotional intelligence, I think, is the most important intelligence of all forms of intelligence. This is my perspective, but it is my personal opinion. So I do not ask everyone to share it. That is the way I see it.
Thank you, Reverend Lydia. A really, really insightful response, and thank you for your transparency. It is important to be in a space of emotional intelligence and to be aware of how we are interacting, especially if somebody is in difficulty, is in crisis, because we don't know how it will tip the balance. And we don't know, because if the person is in crisis, we don't know how they are going to respond after the interaction, after the conversation. And what you mentioned earlier on about suicide, it is very much for us to look at in terms of when things are out of balance, when it is difficult for somebody. This is an option for some people to either self-harm or to end their lives because they see no way out. And this is very much a prevalent situation for many people, that even very young people. I've had clients that have been as young as 10 years old that couldn't see a way forward, and so they ended their lives at 10 years old. So this can be affecting people from all sorts of ages when a parent doesn't understand what the child is going through, passes it off. But, you know, we still have to function because we are human and we live in a world of business. We live in a world of getting things done, but at the same time, we're not machines. We're not the screws and the keys and the cog that make the wheel turn round. We are also humans with feelings, emotions. And it's important to recognize that, because if you meet somebody at that place, resolution occurs. It's much easier to resolve an issue when you meet at that place, because you don't know what's going on in the other person's life. And when I think it's also important to have all of the information on both sides, because if you haven't got the information, you can't make decisions based on only half of the information. What are your thoughts about that? We're just about at the end of our time. So just very quickly, what are your thoughts about having all the information from both sides? And then we'll close out with our information in terms of how people can reach us.
Well, having the information for both sides is something that is a must, because you cannot actually take a decision when you do not have the information. If you take a decision without having all the information, actually, you're sure to make a mistake. So if you do not have the information, just abstain from taking any decision whatsoever when it comes to the situation. So that is the way I think. If you do not know it, do not do it.
Thank you, Reverend Lydia. Very insightful, and we're just about there on our time. Please do share how people can contact you and the best way to reach you.
They can reach me in Canada at 1-514-582-6882. They can reach me also on my Instagram profile, divadivinem_. They can reach me in my LinkedIn, LYDIA Guylaine Fougères. Gillen, just like in French, in England, you pronounce it like Gillen, but it's Guylaine. There is also my Facebook profile, also Lydia, author Lydia Fougères. So that is the way to join me. And I always answer. I always do. So thank you very much for having me on the show, and thank you for all the viewers.
Thank you, Reverend Lydia, and thank you for your incredibly authentic shares on our topic tonight. For me, you can reach me on nomorestress@live.co.uk or call if you're international +44, if you're local 07523 120 189, or follow me on my social media platforms, LinkedIn and Facebook. We've had an excellent show today, and we are back for a Woman's Prerogative Part 2 in just a couple of hours, which is 4 p.m. Eastern Time, and 9 p.m. Greenwich Mean Time. So that's at 9 p.m. That's in about an hour and a half. We have really enjoyed exploring the art of authenticity, honest conversations in difficult times. Come back for a Woman's Prerogative Part 2. Just before we go, please join our VIP exclusive community and become an exclusive VIP community member for first access to our newest videos, photographs and insights on the royal family, live streamed on USA Global TV and radio and YouTube. Thank you very much, everybody. I look forward to seeing you for a Woman's Prerogative Part 2 at 9 p.m. Greenwich Mean Time. Bye-bye for now.
In a world full of noise, misunderstandings and interruptions, master the art of listening with Dr. Jacqueline Kerbeck. Dr. Jacqueline Kerbeck is the listening mentor of USA Global TV and Radio and the Amazon #1 best-selling author of Mastering the Power of Elevated Listening. Elevate your listening. Elevate your life. Join a global learning experience in person or via Zoom. Reserve your spot today. usaglobaltv.com/book-your-session or drjacqueline.thinkific.com. Join Dr. Kerbeck's listening courses or hire her to unlock deeper connections and authentic conversations. Thank you, viewers and listeners of USA Global TV and Radio, for joining us today. We're honoured to have your time and attention as part of our global community. At USA Global TV and Radio, we believe in the power of authentic conversations, meaningful connections, and creating a world of possibilities together. Want to be part of something bigger? Join our team of elevated listeners at usaglobaltv.com, a space where your voice matters and your ability to listen transforms relationships. Stay connected with us across all our platforms for thought-provoking discussions, expert insights, and empowering stories. Subscribe to our channels at youtube.com/c/USA-Global-TV. Follow us on social media and explore the endless opportunities we're creating for growth, learning, and inspiration. Together, we're not just broadcasting, we're building bridges and changing lives one conversation at a time. For inquiries, contact us at info@usaglobaltv.com. Music by Johnny Dies. Produced by Executive Producer and Director Dr. Jacqueline Kerbeck. Voiceover by Mike Porter. Creative Direction by Paul Garcia. All rights reserved. Copyright 2025. Visit usaglobaltv.com to view our full terms and conditions.